everybody. Welcome our next guest here with Film Snob Reviews, Wayne Roberts, director of a brand new film. Do you want to tell us what it's called and what it's about there, Wayne?
Yeah, it's a film called Katie Says Goodbye. It's about a young waitress in Arizona in a small little town who is attempting to save up money to move off to San Francisco where she could become a hairdresser. And then, of course, along the ways of her attempts to do so, things just go south, and her determination and her spirit is tested.
Now, one of the things I liked about it is it looked like you shot it on location in Arizona. Is that accurate?
No, not in Arizona. We shot it in New Mexico, which basically looks the same.
It does. I used to live in Arizona, so they do look pretty much the exact same. What was it like trying to wrangle such a talented cast of people?
I have to say that it was actually, we were lucky. It was easy, and I think it was easy because we had some amazing casting directors, which were Cindy Tolan and Adam Caldwell, who are brilliant at what they do. And then we were also lucky in the fact that we had some champions at the agencies that rep the actors, that believed in the project and that worked hard to have some of their clients in the film. So, I mean, by no means it was a moneymaker for anybody involved. And so for the cast in its entirety, it was a passion project for all of them. And so they wanted to do it. Once they read the script, they believed in the story, they believed in what we were attempting to portray, and they stood behind their characters, even if they are quite despicable. For some of them, they still believe in the importance of what we're trying to do. So I have to say that we're lucky.
Yeah, it seems like the passion just kind of permeates through the entire picture. From every frame, it looks like everything was lovingly put together. And I think that the way you crafted it was really well done. So, I mean, I think you definitely deserve a round of applause for that.
Thank you.
And I think that it's always tough when you have so much talent around you to realize that, man, I don't know what I'm going to do with all these great toys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, here's the thing. I mean, once we're all out there in the middle of nowhere, it was just, I don't know, we were all aiming for the same sort of strange, sort of indescribable or lofty thing. And I would like to think that we would nail it, that we'd reach that point together. So it was we were a team. We're aiming for the same thing.
Absolutely.
And we're lucky that we had the right chemistry for all of us involved to achieve that.
Yeah, I think that you had the right mix of people doing this or working this picture. Now, for people who are unfamiliar with your work, where would they have seen you besides this wonderful film?
Well, I don't think that they would have. I mean, this is the first film that I did.
Exactly.
It's my debut film, but there's also another film that came out called The Professor that came out about 3 weeks ago, that they might have also seen, and that was previously titled Richard Says Goodbye. So there's the two films are coming out really quite close to each other. But before Katie, I actually wasn't working in film. I was just in the process of writing scripts and things like that, and preparing to enter film.
Beautiful. I've actually seen The Professor. I just saw it the other day. That's the Johnny Depp one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was okay. I liked it. I enjoyed that. It's
Thanks.
good to see Johnny Depp doing something normal.
Yeah.
That was always good, Wayne. Thank you. Now, with Olivia Cooke, she is the heart and soul of this film.
Yeah, completely.
How did you go about getting her? I mean, obviously you went through her agency and everything like that, but what was the process of booking everybody for this film, and what made you go with her?
I mean, with Olivia, it was clear once we sat down with each other, and it was even clearer before then. It was just, you have to run off your instinct, you have to run off your gut. And I feel kind of bad saying this, but I've said it before, so I can say it again. But I mean, when you're in the casting process, you have reels that the agencies will put together and they'll give to you to review somebody's work. And those usually run like 4 to 6 or 7 minutes. And with Olivia, I didn't even finish a reel. I just watched, I don't know, probably a minute and a half and just stopped and like, okay, this is a person that is Katie. And so set up a meeting with her, and we sat down with each other and just instantly got along, and had the same understanding of the character and had the same desire for what we want to do with the film. And so we made it happen. But it was an interesting experience. I mean, if you're lucky if you get that with your cast and that you can actually work with that person, but it's sort of a premonition of some sort or some sort of instinct or guttural reaction to.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, it sounds like you got the perfect storm there of people who care about the characters just as much as you do, but also understand them as equally as you do, and that's very rare.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and particularly for something for a film of this, I mean, for a subject matter and for what we're tackling, I think it's easy. In a way, it's easy, and it's also hard to find like-minded people, because it could be construed in a way in which it's a negative reaction rather than a positive reaction.
Absolutely. I agree.
Like if it's negative, then it's easy to just sort of like, well, we're not working together, and just move on.
And I get that because I'm in this world, seeing all these films and talking to all these great filmmakers who, sometimes they have a great experience with people, sometimes they don't. So it's really fantastic, and I love hearing that you had such a great time with your cast and crew. When we're talking about you, obviously you said you were mostly a writer. When you look at inspirations, are there people in Hollywood or around the movie business who have inspired you?
Well, sadly, most of them are dead, but I guess there are people that are working right now that are act as beacons of hope that are making films that are really quite difficult to make. I mean, I think Andrew Haigh is amazing with his film 45 Years. I think that's an absolutely brilliant work. I think Denis Villeneuve is also doing incredible work, and work that's not just in terms of his intimacy small, but then he also does these grander films like Blade Runner, which I thought was a masterpiece. But I look for inspiration in films from the past and then also in literature. And so I probably spend maybe even a little bit more time reading than I do watching films.
Nice. What are some books on your radar then?
Oh God, The Narrow Road to the Deep North. I don't know if you've read that. It won the Booker Prize. That's a brilliant work. I love that. I love A Little Life. East of Eden is fantastic. That's an old classic. I don't know. There's plenty of books that are out there that. I mean, here's the thing. I just want to be moved. I want to be emotionally and ideally intellectually moved and challenged. And sadly, those films are not really being made and supported right now, where the medium is just being used to entertain people and to get them in front of their TV and seated and not thinking for as long as possible. So it's difficult to find works that will actually accomplish what I'm looking for, but it seems to be easier on that front in terms of literature.
So while we're there,
yeah.
We're talking about films that do move you. If you were stranded on an island and you had to take 2 films with you because they moved you so much, what 2 films would you take?
I would take I Vitelloni by Fellini, and I would take E Tu m'aimes tant bien.
That is a great. I love that second pick.
Yeah.
One of the few times I can watch a foreign film without the subtitles.
Yes, yeah.
Well, because it's Spanish. That's about it.
Yeah. I love that film. That film is so. I mean, I love them both. I think those are 2 life-changing films.
Yeah, there's a certain feeling you get watching, particularly Gael Garcia Bernal's performance, where you're just like, man, hitting me right it's hitting you in all the right spots. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. I love that answer. That's a great answer. I usually ask all of my guests that answer because it tells me a lot about what kind of films they enjoy and if we have similar taste. And from that answer, I can tell you we definitely have similar taste that way.
Yeah.
Now, for those who want to check the film out, how would they do that, and why should they do that?
Well, they can check the film out on iTunes. It's also going to be released theatrically in 10 cities come tomorrow, June 7th. But in terms of why they would want to do it, if they're looking for a work that is not meant to simply entertain you, but to emotionally move you and to challenge you, I think this is a film for them. It's not, in so many ways, it's not an easy watch. It's a difficult film. It was a difficult film for us to make and for us to go through, and it's transferred onto the audience as well, as it should, given the subject matter that we're tackling. But if an audience member is willing to walk down a road that exists that people often don't want to walk down, but many are forced to walk down, I think this is a film that they would be drawn to, and they'll certainly feel something, whether it's a certain amount of love or a certain amount of hate. I don't think it's going to have a lukewarm reaction to the film. I don't think we've witnessed one thus far, so it's usually quite polarizing. But if they're looking, if an audience member is looking to be entertained, please look elsewhere, because these are not the kind of films that we want to make or that I have any interest in making.
Oh, that's a great answer.
Other people that are out there that are trying to make films like that to keep people entertained and not thinking.
That is a great answer, Wayne, and that I think that gets to the crux of what the film is trying to do quite well. It's a cutting film, and it has no intention of being anything but that. And yeah. I really do. Like I said, I would urge my audience to definitely check this out in the 10 cities that it is coming out in. Mine is not one of them, but it's also on iTunes. So if you don't want to get your lazy butts off the couch, have a nice movie and have a nice night in with this particular film, and be prepared to be wrecked, because that's exactly what's going to happen.
Wrecked, but then there's a little band-aid of hope at the end.
Yeah. I mean, that's the best part is that I think that one of the hardest things for you as a director and you as a storyteller to do it with this was to rock that boat of emotion, but also make sure that the tide rocked all the way back over to say everything's going to be okay, even though everything's not okay. You know what I mean? Is there any message that you would like to convey to my audience? Because I have an audience here that wants to listen, wants to hear you. What would you want to convey to them about either you or life or anything? What message would you want to send?
I guess there's two important messages to the film. I mean, one, if somebody has gone through a situation that's similar to Katie's, to know that it's all right, that it can be all right, that they do not need to be defined by the actions that have been committed against them, that they can still, they need to be a victim, that they can actually overcome this. And I think that's a rare message to find for people that are in situations like Katie's. But then also for everybody else, for those that have not been in a situation similar to Katie's, I think we can all identify with struggles and hardships in life. And if we can see a young woman of 17 overcome so much that usually is going to dwarf what we're going through and still pursue her dreams and still pursue the life that she wants to live, we really have no excuse on our own end to not do so. I mean, we live once. There's no time to waste. And there's no real excuse to not be going out there and trying to create that life that we want to live.
Man, that's a great message, Wayne. Wow, that might be the best. And I've done a few interviews this week. That might be the best closing message that anyone's ever left.
No, thanks.
That's just fantastic. I love that it's from the heart, honest and true. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Wayne Roberts, the director and writer of Katie Says Goodbye, a fantastic new film that's headed your way tomorrow on iTunes and in 10 cities. Check listings to make sure you're available to go check this one out. Thank you so much for joining us, Wayne. And tell Olivia Cook I said hello.
I will. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.